This is Robert Waterman for Tungsten's Hells, sitting with Paul Nicholson at the Dutch Masters in Veldhoven, Holland. Paul, good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yesterday, not so good. You had a few problems with your match against Kellett.
Well, it's the second time I've played that individual on that particular stage in the very same event. But obviously, he's got the wood on me at this particular point. But it's up to me to get past that mentally, and the next time I play him, I should come out on top. But yesterday there was a few problems. Going through a few issues with equipment at the moment, just not feeling like I've got enough grip on my dart. So in the next couple of months I'm going to have to try and make a few changes. So hopefully that'll give me a bit more confidence going into the middle of the season.
So you believe that those personal things are going to make a difference to you?
Yeah, what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just looking at what's going wrong and what's going right. There's a lot of positives, mentally, apart from yesterday. I'm going to say I was pretty mentally frail yesterday after the match. But my preparation and my work ethic away from the game has been first class this year. I really am very proud of it. So I'm going to keep that going, and I'm going to keep faith with what I'm doing. It's just minor alterations to what I'm doing. I'm not far off, but in my own opinion, I'm way off where I want to be. And in order to get there, I'm going to have to put in a lot of work over the next 12 to 18 months.
Well, you're still ranked number 23 in the world, so that's still something to hold for.
I think if you'd have said to me 5 years ago when I started playing professionally that I was going to be ranked 23 at this point in my career, I would have said, that's great. But because of what's happened since the start of my career, I look at 23 and I think, that's not good enough. That's the way I should actually look at the rankings, because I look at some of the guys who are ahead of me and I think, you know something, I should be in your shoes and you should be here. But in order to get myself up back in the top 16 and back in the top 10 where I believe I'm good enough to be, I've got to put in the hard yards and I've got to start winning games. And I've got to stop chucking away games that I should really be winning.
You like these European Tour events?
Well, I've never missed one yet, and I don't intend to miss the next one or the ones coming up with this new qualification criteria, because I love these events. I think they're a great addition to the tour. Playing in such a fantastic place like Veldhoven has just added something to the tour. Germany have had a fantastic amount of support at all of the venues that we play there, and the addition of bringing Salzburg back into the calendar is a great idea, because I think that's a better venue than what we had in Vienna. But in itself, the European Tour is almost like the backbone of the ranking system now, and it's tremendous.
Well, the next European Tour event for you would be, I think, on the 19th of April in Berlin. But I think you'll have to qualify for that in Crawley in March. And so I presume you're going to be at the qualification.
Definitely. And like I say, I haven't missed a European Tour event in the last couple of years since its inception. So I don't want to miss any. And I think this new qualification criteria, I think it's quite harsh. I really do. Because it's making some of the higher ranked players have to qualify. I mean, the fact that James Wade has to go and qualify, I think it's a bit of a joke. That's my own personal opinion. But it is giving some of the players a real kick up the behind, as if to say, this is the way it is, you can't change it, so you've got to go and qualify, otherwise you're going to slip in the rankings. So if I've got to qualify, I'm going to try and qualify, and I don't want to miss it.
Moving slightly away from the darts, but to your walk-on music, we understand that you use sort of two different songs depending where you are. When you're in the UK, you use Clubfoot by Kasabian. And when you're in other countries, you're using Am I Even Going to See Your Face Again by the Angels. Is there a reason for that?
It all started last August when I was doing some promotional work for Etihad Stadium in Melbourne, and I wanted to have a quintessential Australian anthem. And I chose that particular song by the Angels because it's got a huge interaction aspect of it with the fans. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of a blue word in the fan interaction, so you can't actually use it on Sky or any of the other networks, because you're probably going to hear a swear word. So we tend to go back to the classic Clubfoot, which is what I've had since the start of my really good days back in 2009. But at some of these events, the Angel song is really, really good to use because it gets the fans going. It's got a good beat to it, so it's nice to have something different as well. But I've had problems with walk-on music because I don't really have something that connects with the fans, on a real popular level, much like Michael's or Peter Wright's or Phil's. So if anybody's got any suggestions, please tell me on Twitter.
Sorry, for those of you watching us on Tungsten Tales, perhaps you'd like to contact us and we'll pass on your suggestions to Paul.
Yeah, definitely. Any kind of feedback's good. So if anybody's got any ideas out there, please don't hesitate to get in touch.
If I'm right, over the World Championships, we heard you commentating on Radio 5 Live. How was that for you?
It was a great experience. I got the phone call from the PDC about the idea of me working for Radio 5 Live on the final, and I was instructed that this was the first time that radio had covered it live. So to be included in that was a great honour. And, you know, I was a little bit nervous going into it with John Rowling because it was a new concept. I've got TV experience, and, you know, that really did help me, getting into it. But after the first set, myself and John, we found a rhythm, and after that it was just a case of we were enjoying the game and commentating on it. It was a fantastic experience, and I don't think it's the last time I'll ever do it.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Now that you've done it, is that something you've got ambitions to take further?
Much along the lines of John Part. I've worked with John, with a couple of different networks, and the way we look at it, darts and playing darts is what we want to do first and foremost. We still want to win trophies and titles and lots more money. However, because we're seen as good interpreters of the game, I actually think that it's a good way to not just supplement your living, but it's a good way to actually interact with the people and actually show them a different side to you. I think I've got a good way of understanding the game from the player's perspective, and as a commentator I think I do a good job.
Looking forward for the rest of the year, where do you think you will be, and where would you obviously like to be?
Well, by the end of the year I'd like to be back in the top 16 realistically, but my mentality these days is just to win the next game. After yesterday I was very upset that I didn't win, because I felt like that my side of the draw was starting to open up a little bit. It was a great chance to kickstart my season, much like I did in Sindelfingen last year. I didn't do it. I've got to take it on the chin, but now it's just a case of looking at the next game, which is on Friday in Wigan at the UK Open qualifiers. Just keep winning one game at a time. Don't even look at the rankings or where you sit. The more games you win, you're going to be in a better position, and that's my mentality.
Paul, is there anything else you'd like to tell the fans of darts?
Just keep doing what you're doing. Be loud, be proud, and just enjoy the darts while it's like this. This is a huge bubble we're creating, and we don't want it to burst, so stay loud and proud.
That was Paul Nicholson. I'm Robert Waterman. You've been watching Tungsten Tales, keeping you at the sharp end of world darts.